Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for, this is your April bonus reading, actually. We're just going to jump right in here and see what is going on for you at this time. You have this counselor card. It says a financial coach can help you reach your financial goals. You also have this promoter card. It says a new idea or project has great potential for success. So, I kind of get a couple of things here, honestly. Like, now, some of you could literally be starting something like a new project or a new job, and I feel like this could be like even you getting a raise or a promotion. So, if you're dealing with any of that, I wouldn't say you're dealing with anything. It looks good. I think this is, this right here, Libra, would represent like a boss. And it doesn't matter what gender your boss is. I just feel this is their energy. And it could represent like a boss or a mentor who is taking notice of you and is giving you a raise or a promotion. So, I definitely see that. And look you have like this victory card, the Chariot right here. So for a lot of you, there's definitely like a raise or promotion coming in for you. And again, if you have a business, I do feel this could be like a big client that's coming in for you, or kind of something that really supports you for a while, like especially for those of you that do client work or contract work. I'm getting, look at this reading. This is a very good reading. You do have like some challenges here with the Nine of Swords, but that's like the only challenge that I see in this reading. And kind of what I would say right off the bat, I'm not going to make you wait. The challenge that I see here is the amount of time you have to give something. So again, let's say you get a client or something like that. Maybe you get a client that's going to be like really big, a big project. And I think the challenge for you is like deciding to put the amount of time into it that it's going to take. Same thing with a job. It's like, I used to work at Schmucks, right? I'll just say that. And I never wanted to be a shift supervisor there. They wanted to make me a shift supervisor, but I never wanted to do it because it was like very little. It was like 20 cents more an hour, right? And for like a ton more work and a ton more responsibility at that time. So, it's like some of you, I don't see that. I feel like you want this, but again, at the time when I had that job, I just didn't want the extra responsibility. So I kind of feel that here, where if there is a raise or a promotion, that Nine of Swords could say that maybe you're just looking at how much it's going to take, like to do this new position, let's say if it's a position, and you're just trying to say like, do I want this? Do I want to put in that work or whatever? You have the King of Swords here, which is funny because you have that counselor card, and to me the King of Swords like a mentor or a guide, someone who has a lot of knowledge and wisdom. So I do feel like there could be support from a person. I always say if you have any problem in your life at all, doesn't matter what it is, that the King of Swords comes up and it can represent a person who can solve your problems very, very quickly. And usually it represents like some sort of expert, like a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist, or whatever problem you're having, find an expert. Could be like a mechanic if it's your car. But I definitely get that feeling here that there could be someone who could guide you very, very quickly. You have the Nine of Wands here. And the Nine of Wands says, like, don't give up on something. And especially for those of you that are unsure of your direction, those are the words that I'm getting here. You have the Knight of Pentacles showing up. And the Knight of Pentacles can, again, represent not being sure what direction to go in life, not being sure what to do. It's interesting that you have this card that says halfway there. It's like you're very, very close. I feel like you're more than halfway. It's like you're very, very close to like some sort of turning point or a turnaround, especially in financial matters. It's weird that there's like no financial cards here except for the Knight of Pentacles, but I really feel for whatever reason, this is having to do with finances or work. Could even be a legal matter involving finances is popping into my head. So whatever it is, it looks to me like there could be some improvements in your finances or whatever your financial situation is. And again, you have this Knight of Pentacles, which is like, I feel like you're very close to making a change. It's like you're much closer than you think. And again, I don't mean this in like a clickbaity way. I mean this as in don't turn around now. Nine of Wands, like don't give up. The Knight of Pentacles, I feel is saying that, sometimes I think when we're like halfway between success and failure, right? It's like we are like, do I turn around and go back to the beginning, or do I keep moving forward? And I feel this reading is saying, keep moving towards the successful direction, not the, the failure. It might not be a failure. It might just be, the past or something like that. With the King of Swords, yep, basically the universe saying I meant what I said. You have the King of Swords, so whenever cards repeat themselves like that, I just think it's the universe just kind of confirming the situation. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Emperor. Very interesting. I kept, when I was shuffling the cards here before I started your reading, I kept thinking like Aries. Like I'm reading for Aries, and I've done this before, Libra, where I've called you Aries, right, in a reading, and it kept happening. Like as I was shuffling these cards, I was like Aries, Aries. I just kept saying it in my head. So some of you definitely could be dealing with an Aries if you are looking for love. But I also feel this is talking about taking action and not giving up. I really feel this reading is very encouraging. It's saying you're very close. Like this eclipse that we're about to have on the 19th, 20th, depending on where you are in the world, this month of April, it's to me it's a very good eclipse, and I think this is going to be a very good eclipse season if you take advantage of the energy. So this month could bring in some positive financial changes if you take action. With the Knight of Pentacles, too much overthinking here. Nine of Swords twice with the Knight of Pentacles. That's literally just being in a round and round overthinking energy. So whatever you are overthinking about, I would just take action. I know that's obvious, but what I would say here is that the High Priestess, she represents something that has unlimited potential. She has no roof over her head, and that's where unlimited potential comes from. And the star says if someone has done something in the world, then you can do it. It basically says what's possible for one person is possible for everyone. She's pouring this water from the pool of universal consciousness onto the earth right here. And, that's the part of the card that says what's possible for one person is possible for everyone. So if you believe it, you can do it. I truly, truly believe that. Next, you have this legal matter card. It says bad contracts, not paying debts, divorce, avoiding responsibility, shitty work. It says restore harmony, face your life honestly, no matter how inconvenient the truth might be. If you choose to proceed with integrity and honesty, you will find yourself on a stable pathway towards success. Yeah, I feel like success, if you're dealing with something legal, I feel like it's been a round situation, no doubt about it. You have the Knight of Swords here, so it's like one of those things where you could have been could be involved in like a divorce or a legal situation, and it's been something that's been kind of taking a long time. For others, I do feel like this has to do with love for some of you. I don't really know how to describe this energy where it's like I feel like you're past it. It could be with an Aries. It's like you've moved, like I feel you've moved past the hurt, the breakup and everything like that. But I feel there maybe are still those moments where you kind of think about that person. You're like, I really hope they get run over by a bus today, every once in a while. I think most of the time you're probably a little bit more positive, but I feel like other times you're like, you know what? If they tripped on a dog toy and accidentally broke their neck, I wouldn't feel bad about it, right? Maybe you have those moments, and I feel like you're trying to correct those moments inside yourself. That's why I don't think you're like a homicidal maniac or anything like that. But going this way, the Six of Swords, like I feel it's that final step of truly wishing the best for the past person, and no matter what they did, and kind of like letting go of it. I think when we get to that point, that's when we become extremely powerful, when we can truly look at someone from the past and just not even worry about it. Because I get a weird connected energy here on this Nine of Swords where it's like, maybe some of you are seeing your ex like post things or something like that, and you're like, they're talking about me with whatever they're posting. And, I feel like you're kind of saying to yourself, it's kind of like you want to see them get their just desserts or whatever, but I feel like you're kind of also moving past it. And there's something, I don't even think it's healing. I think it's more energetic, It's like when you get to that point where nothing bothers you, I believe that's where we can attract crazy abundance. That's where we can attract healing and all sorts of things. So, I feel like you're kind of like working towards that. You have the King of Cups here, which would represent your deep emotions. There's something very emotional about this reading, not like emotional as in boo-hooing, crying all day, but more, maybe that's some of you, but more emotional as in I feel like you're using your emotions to get the things you want in your life. And again, like I said, this is very good for attraction. I think that feeling emotions, clearly the most important part of attracting things that you want into your life. And if we look at this right here, it looks like you are using positive emotions, of course, with the sun. So the sun is a card of happiness. We also go like this right here down to the star. A lot of people have been getting the sun and the star. The sun and the star connected, like in a row or a diagonal or a column, to me represents fame and fortune. Doesn't mean you're going to become famous necessarily. If you want to, go for it. Right now is the time, Pluto and Aquarius. But to me, it's a very good for just getting positive attention, getting a raise or a promotion, asking your boss for a raise or promotion. Doing, if you want love, getting out in public, getting as much attention as you possibly can. All those, anything like that. But on top of that, the other thing is that paying attention to your attention, which we actually see right here whenever we have the Sun and the Ace of Wands together in a reading. To me, that's kind of like the Sun is trying to get your attention. The Ace of Wands is that spark of hope, that spark of inspiration, star card, inspiration, 2 inspirational cards there. So it's like something is trying to get your attention. And other people have had this as well. And I think it's just like the astrology that's kind of causing this. With the Sun, you have the Magician, passionate new beginning coming in for you. So, I would follow your passions and desires. And it's funny, I was talking about law of attraction. Clearly, you have that legal matter card, which it kind of looks like you, Libra, this legal matter card. And it could just say that, you are going to attract the direction of your emotions. So make sure you're attracting good emotions. With the King of Cups, you have the Queen of Swords here. I feel like you are very much looking forward into the future. Again, Queen of Swords always has her back to the past here. And so I feel like you're very focused on kind of moving on to calmer shores, new beginnings. Like I said, your back is to this Emperor person. So everything that I said in this reading, basically, already, I feel like I get that feeling of moving on from something. But you have that halfway card. It's like you're halfway there. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is a card of wish fulfillment and happiness. I would push your energy more in this direction right here, the Nine of Cups, more towards happiness, fulfillment, things that bring that into your life. Anything you can do to improve your situation is what I would be focusing on here with the Nine of Cups. Next, in the area of what you need to hear right now, you have this halfway there card. It says, the wheel is turning. Destined, inevitable, karmic cycles. Follow the flow of events. Yes, exactly. I would follow the flow. Follow the inspiration is what I feel like this should be saying, really. I feel like you're more than halfway. I feel like you're really... It's like you've done the hard work, but sometimes I think when we've done the hard work, we feel like we should go backwards when we actually should go forwards. But it's like you've done all the prep work, and I'm getting that on the Chariot. You have the Chariot, the Six of Swords, and the High Priestess. Again, the Chariot is kind of like, you see how he has left this city behind him? I always say he's left this city, and he's going somewhere where maybe he can set himself apart. He wants to be unique, and this everybody's been getting the Chariot, and I've been saying this is very Pluto and Aquarius, I would say. I think that Pluto and Aquarius is the collective, but Pluto and Aquarius is also the individual. We have to, we can't just, dissolve into the collective. We still have to do things maybe to make ourselves unique. So we have to balance both energies. I'm very cautious of, people who talk about things like all or nothing, like things have to be all this or all that, all collective or all individual. I don't even think it's somewhere in the middle. I think that it's both. I don't think things have to be one thing or the other. And, this energy here is like saying you've done the hard work to set yourself apart, but now you have to start the journey. And this is like the easy part. So I feel like this half of your journey is actually going to be much easier than the first half. It's going to flow. It's going to move very easily. You have the Six of Swords, which I almost just dropped, and they are moving across the choppy waters. In this deck here, the After Tarot, they are already across the choppy waters. So a lot of you, it's like you've been through the hard part. Now you're just building your new beginning is what this looks like to me. Even if we look at the Ace of Wands here, it's like you have this castle crumbling in the background, and then you have the water and the Ace of Wands on the other side. It's almost like you are, again, it's like you've crossed this water, the choppy waters, to get to this new beginning. So it's like now the hard part is the actual building part of the new beginning. Again, this mother and the child, they bring nothing with them across the choppy waters, only the clothing on their back. So they've sacrificed everything. They have to completely start over. But I feel like where you are starting over is like a place where there is unlimited potential, where you can be whatever you want. And, I think that it's a mystery. Maybe there are some things you have to learn, but I feel there's going to be a lot of success on the other side here. So I would get building, whatever it is that you're building, whatever new thing it is. Let's see. With the Chariot, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is a card of needing to get started. As always, you have it twice in the same diagonal right here. So I feel for a lot of you, it's kind of like saying I feel like this Chariot just needs to move. with that Knight of Pentacles. It's like you have everything. It's like you have everything packed and ready to go in something, but now it's time to move. And now it's time to get going. With the Six of Swords, yes, you always have the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles, Libra says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Say it with me, right? So I feel like that a past situation is dead, done, over with, and you're just kind of like moving on to, the other side. With the High Priestess, you have the Four of Pentacles. She's sitting where she has always been. She's sitting right here. She has her back to the world. Or I should say, we don't actually know, if she has her back to the world or not. But there is a way to read the High Priestess that she has her back to the world. She's like putting herself in this contemplative, meditative position so that she can maybe block out the world so she can listen to her intuition. And I'm kind of getting that here. His back is also to a city on the Four of Pentacles. The back he's turned away from the city behind him. And so I'm wondering if some of you, it's like I'm kind of getting that this could be more talking about you listening to your own opinions, not the opinions of other people. So I kind of feel like you need to listen to yourself. Here at the end, in the area of the good stuff, you have this entanglement card. It says, if you realize that you are in an entanglement, it may be time to move on or take a break. Again, this is the good stuff, so it doesn't matter what shows up here. It's going to be good no matter what. And, I kind of do get that Nine of Swords feeling where it's like a little bit of like uncertainty. That's really what I'm getting here. Even though this is the good stuff, I feel like you're a little bit uncertain maybe. And I do feel like you could be leaving an entanglement. Some of you, if you've left a relationship, maybe the good thing here is that you're seeing that it was an entanglement that was holding you back. And so I kind of feel that energy as well. You have the Nine of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Star card. The Ace of Wands is a passionate new beginning. Like I said, probably your most important card here. I would move towards things that inspire you this week. And, pretty much everyone gets this every single week, month, whatever, in every single reading. And again, because we're in a time of inspiration, I think we're in a time of inspiration because, again, the best thing you can do for the collective is inspire people around you. And it could just be one person. It doesn't have to be like millions and millions of people. It could just be one person. That's enough. That's more than enough. And on top of that, you can just inspire yourself, by the way. You can do something that you've never done before. You can, exceed your own expectations right now, Libra. And if you do this, other people will see it by default. So you don't even have to, do it with the focus of other people in mind. But you do have to do it. And so, that's what I would say here with the Ace of Wands. You have the Ten of Cups, Fortune After Difficulty. Just seems to me like this is more of a month that, yeah, there's love here. But this is a month that's more about you. I feel like this is more a month that's saying, like, focus on your own joy and happiness. If you do that, I feel like you will be attracting joy and happiness into your life. And it just is like a very simple reading. There's nothing, I feel like there's nothing complicated here. I'm not saying that you won't have complications, but, I just feel like there's nothing complicated, nothing try hard about this reading. It's just very kind of straightforward energy that I'm getting here. You have the Star, and again, I do feel that there could be something that is inspiring to you or that excites you, and something that you need to realize if one person has done it, you can do it. That's pretty much the only message I'm getting off the Star card for you, and I feel like you need to do it. I also feel like there are things that are giving you hope, and like, if you're receiving hope, I feel like the hope you are receiving is the universe basically trying to say, come on. Like, it's like the universe is nudging you along, pushing you in new directions. So, pay attention to that. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Queen of Wands. You're very attractive at this time, Libra. So put yourself out there for sure if you want love. If you don't want love, and even if you do, I would just be trying to get attention. Like I said, Sun and the Star, probably the simplest thing that you could possibly do, getting attention in work and business. Doing that is going to attract like raises, promotions, whatever you want. Same thing if you have a business, like I said, you could be attracting new clients. Again, I do get this, the Queen of Wands, she has to go into like uncharted territory. She has to learn as she goes. And I was getting that here. Remember at the beginning of the reading, I was saying there might be like an opportunity for you that seems big, or, I feel like it maybe has to do with time. It's like you want it, but you're like, do I want to put this much time into something? Like I was giving you that example. And the Queen of Wands would be a big yes. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Six of Swords right next to each other here. I knew that these two were connected. It's like they're obviously connected in the reading, but I don't always feel like two cards next to each other are necessarily connected, but I definitely felt that there, so there you go. And with the Star, you have the Fool. Yes, time for you to take some sort of leap of faith. Very simple reading here, Libra. No reason to overcomplicate it. I think that uncomplicated readings are better because there's like less things that you have to work on, and that's kind of like the energy that I get here is that there's like less that you have to work on here, Libra. Let's see. We're going to pull 5 main themes. You have this enemy card. Everybody has had this card. Almost everybody. Not everyone, but pretty close. And what I would say here is boundaries. 9 of Wands with that Emperor. If you have an Emperor type controlling person, doesn't have to be a lover, could be a parent or just a boss or whatever, I would make sure you're putting up boundaries. I don't know what this is other than, we just had Mars leave Gemini. And I don't like that Mars and Gemini energy sometimes because, it's not, I don't look at astrology as good or bad. It's just loose guidance at best. But, what I would say is, to me, sometimes it can bring out like gossip, people lying, things like that. So I would just ignore it and put up boundaries against those people. You have the Servant card. Everybody's had this card as well. So I feel like some of you need to look at where you feel like you're wasting time. I also feel like you need to look at areas of your life where maybe you feel like a servant. It could be in a marriage. It could be in your job. Maybe you feel like you're doing all this like extra work for your boss that no one else has to do. And again, I would put up boundaries, or maybe you need to say to your boss like, hey, I do more than everyone else. I need a raise or else, right? So I definitely feel like more of a sticking up energy there. You have this Old Woman card. I always clarify people cards like this when I get them, and you have this letter. Some of you could be receiving communication from an older person in your life. It does feel like family communication, and it could be someone that you haven't heard from in a while. Why is this important for you? Well, it could be love as well. You have the Sweetheart card. She's literally reading a letter. I would say if you're attracting love, it could be an older person. Obviously, it doesn't have to be a woman. It's going to be different for all of you. And that could be coming up here. For others, again, I do feel this is like a family member or a friend you haven't heard from in a while. And I feel like they just, they could just be feeling isolated, alone. So I feel like your communication could go a long way. I feel like you want to communicate with this person. It's not like you don't, but maybe you're just like, why is this person, I never hear from this person. Why are they contacting me? I feel like they just feel lonely, so again, I don't know, someone needs to hear that. You have this Haughtiness card. Everyone has had this card as well, which it cracks me up when this stuff happens. But, again, I would be careful of anything that seems too good to be true, or any people that seem too good to be true with this Haughtiness card, because they probably are. I think for the rest of our lives, I've been saying this for years now, that for the rest of our lives, I think we really need to pay attention to actions as far as people are concerned, not just love, but, all people in our lives. And if someone can actually do what they say, great. If they can't, then we need to really pay attention to that and cut that person out or put up boundaries or whatever. And finally, you have this Constancy card. I feel like you want something constant in a relationship. So if you are looking for love, I feel like you want something predictable, stable, something secure. Same thing with work as well. That could be why the Six of Swords is coming up. Maybe you were in a situation in work or business that was a little bit more insecure, that wasn't secure. And it's like you're moving towards something that is very secure or more stable. I even see some of you could be going from like having a business to getting a career, which there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I think some people don't like the inconsistency of being an entrepreneur. It's like everybody, even me included, it's like, I have multiple businesses, and, it's like I totally understand how, not wanting to have to rely on kind of like unstable, unpredictable income. I like it personally, but some people don't, and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, I think a lot of people out there are like, oh, everybody's an entrepreneur, become an entrepreneur, but which is great, but at the same time, it doesn't work for everyone. So that could be for some of you. Maybe you want something more stable. If you do have a business, and you do want to have a business, if you don't have one already, you could be looking for ways to make it more stable. We kind of talked about this with following inspiration, getting a bigger client if you do client work or something like that. Definitely popping into my head. But really, I feel like the most important thing here is this reading is saying like the hard part is over. It's time for you're halfway there, but this second half is going to be a breeze. So, I would keep pushing here, Libra, towards the star, whatever you're trying to accomplish right here, because you're about to achieve something great. But looks pretty good, Libra. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.